You've heard the stories. You've played the game. But behind the legend was a real name. Were they high on hashish, lost in the haze, or warriors of faith in a shadowy blaze? They struck with purpose, cold and precise, and inspired assassins even in modern-day life. This is the truth behind Assassin's Creed. The Assassins of Alamut. The 11th century Middle East was a world on fire. The Abbasid Caliphate, once the center of Islamic power, had faded into a mere symbol. In its place rose the Seljuk Turks, fierce warriors from Central Asia who became the new rulers of Persia and Iraq. With sultans like Tugril Beg, Alp Arslan, and Malik Shah at the helm, the Seljuk Empire enforced Sunni orthodoxy with sword and law. Their Grand Vizier, Nizam al-Mulk, ruled behind the scenes with ruthless efficiency, eliminating dissent and hunting down those who strayed from the dominant faith. One of those hunted would become their greatest threat. His name was Hassan-i Sabbah. Born around 1050 in the city of Qom, Persia, Hassan was no warlord. He was a man of thought, a scholar of astronomy, mathematics, and theology. But what set him apart was conviction. He embraced Ismaili Shiaism, a secretive, persecuted sect that believed in a hidden imam, a spiritual guide destined to return and restore justice to the world. To the Seljuks, Ismailis were heretics. To Hassan, they were the chosen few. He would give them more than survival. He would give them a weapon. And for that, he needed a base. High in the jagged Elburz mountains of northern Persia stood Alamut, the eagle's nest. A fortress carved into a narrow ridge, nearly 200 meters above the valley below, with a single path leading to its gates. It was remote, impenetrable, perfect. In the year 1090, Hassan captured it, not through war, but through patience. He slowly converted the garrison from within, and when the moment was right, he took it without shedding a single drop of blood. Alamut was no longer just a stronghold. It was the beating heart of a new kind of power. A power built not on armies, but on loyalty, secrecy, and fear. Inside those stone walls, Hassan created the assassins. His elite followers were called the fida'i, those who sacrificed themselves. They were trained in the art of disguise, in patience, in precision. They struck in public, often at close range, and never ran. They welcomed death as part of the mission. To the outside world, it was madness. To Hassan, it was justice. Every target was chosen carefully. Every strike sent a message. And as his message spread, so did his network. Hassan sent out missionaries, dusis, to towns, villages, and marketplaces across Persia and Syria. They didn't preach conquest. They preached clarity, certainty, and the promise of a higher cause. Among the poor, the outcast, and the persecuted, his call found eager ears. For nearly 170 years, they operated in silence, embedded in courts, cities, and strongholds across the Islamic world and beyond. Over 50 high-profile figures were assassinated. Viziers, generals, rival imams, even Crusader kings. The most terrifying part: no one ever knew who the next target would be. In 1292, that fear reached the Crusader world. Conrad of Montferrat, newly crowned King of Jerusalem, was stabbed to death by two men disguised as Christian monks. Even Saladin, The legendary Muslim general survived more than one attempt on his life. The assassins became legend. To their enemies, they were a nightmare. Invisible, patient, and merciless. And as their reputation grew, so did the myths. Centuries later, travelers like Marco Polo told of secret gardens where young men were drugged with hashish and shown paradise. They were told that if they killed in Hassan's name, they would return there in death. It made for a compelling story, but historians doubt it ever happened. Hassan was no hedonist. He banned wine, music, and luxury inside Alamut. His paradise wasn't one of pleasure. It was one of obedience, clarity, and control. But even clarity could not stop a storm. In the mid-13th century, a new force rose on the horizon, one the assassins could not silence. The Mongols. Led by Hulagu Khan, grandson of Genghis, the Mongol armies swept through Persia like wildfire, burning cities, destroying empires, and crushing all resistance. In 1256, Alamut itself came under siege. The assassins' final leader, Rukn al-Din, surrendered. But there would be no mercy. The fortress was destroyed, its libraries burned, its towers reduced to rubble. The Persian assassins were gone. Their remaining outposts in Syria were dismantled by the Mamluks soon after. The shadow empire of Alamut had fallen. But the legend, that lived on. The word assassin entered every major language, a symbol of stealth, death, and mystery. They became ghosts in the pages of history books and icons in games and films. But behind the fiction lies something real. A brotherhood of believers, a war of ideas, and a dagger that once made the world tremble. They left no cities, no coins, no monuments, only a name and a warning. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. If this story pulled you in, imagine what else is waiting to be uncovered. Hit like if the shadows of the past made you think. Subscribe to Voices from the Past and step deeper into the forgotten corners of history. Another secret story is just one click away. I'll see you there.